Got it.
But I was just more fascinated with you because I've seen your name on Twitter years ago. Like
just random?
Yeah, just random. Probably through the Jay Sean affiliation and stuff. And then I was just looking more into it, and then I saw that, you know, you were being smart with it. So you were providing clothing, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and stuff. So I just wondered, like, how did you build your brand from, say, the initial gifting? I'm assuming you gifting at that point?
Yeah, I mean, we still do gifting. It was more of so our business is quite old, 16 years old.
Wow.
So our business has always been about staying relevant, right? And that means different things in different time frames of history. So when we were starting out, magazines were very important. Celebrities are always been important. So whoever was like relevant, or whatever magazine editor we needed to be friend with, you know, like we started the same year Complex magazine started.
Oh, wow.
So we were always in every issue of Complex. We would be in every issue of Fader magazine, every issue, whatever, because those were our ways to reach a mass audience.
How did you foster those relationships?
A lot of it was honestly going out. We were out everywhere, like LA, New York, Vegas.
Are you from LA?
I'm from LA. And so funny story, my college roommate and roommate after college for over 10 years, when we graduated college, my friend and I started the apparel business. He went into nightlife.
Right.
So he became a club promoter. Oh, wow. And so he just ended up becoming the biggest, and then the biggest owner of nightclubs and restaurants in LA.
Oh, wow.
So it just so happened to work out. So we were very complementary to each other's kind of life throughout all these years. And not everyone's fit to be around celebrities.
No.
You know,
some people lose their shit.
Some people don't, you know, everything from how they treat them, act them, take advantage of it. And we never asked anything of anybody. That was like our big thing. Like, we have such a good reputation with talent or talent managers or agents. You know, you'll never see us asking for tickets or shoes, or like, we always keep our distance in terms of that type of stuff, and anything we can do to be helpful to them, we're helpful. And organically, they've supported the brand.
So to do that though, you need a certain level of emotional intelligence to be able to
self-aware,
to give without the expectation of wanting anything in return.
Yeah.
And then the universe will repay you.
Yeah, and it's happened to us with so many people over the years, and some of those relationships take, you know, 5-10 years where you actually end up doing stuff with those people. Yeah. But I think you know, all that stuff takes time to become. We were always self-aware. You don't, because you grow up in LA, you're around celebrities all the time. Sure. So you know not to overstep your boundaries, not take advantage. Because if you do, that's it. Your name is mud, and you'll never get those.
You'll never work in this town again.
Yeah, it literally works like that. If you have a bad reputation among a certain group of people, it's very hard to do anything, and you have to leave town. I know I have a friend who left LA and moved to New York, and I'm like, why'd you move? He's like, I screwed everyone in LA. I have to go to New York.
Oh wow!
So it's.
I've known people that have had the same kind of thing.
Yeah, like when we see someone from London show up in LA, we're like, we better do our homework on who this person is.
Okay, sure. Whatever I said on Twitter back in the day. Yeah, no, I did work with a talent, and he had a Twitter meltdown, and he was an actor, and he went at everyone. Yeah. In his meltdown. Yeah. And wow, in London's even smaller than LA. So yeah. Imagine. So yeah, to build those relationships back again will take a lot of dinners.
Yes.
And apologies.
Yes, absolutely. And so I would say our thing has always been really strong at relationship building.
You guys being Indian, was that ever something that you were aware of going into? Because your clothing is obviously very Western. It's just relevant to society in this country. Yeah. I'm sure elsewhere. So was that ever a thing for you guys?
I would say if there was a hurdle, it was more of like there wasn't other people that look like you that were in decision-making positions. Right. And frankly, you know, I think the generation above us were never helpful to other Indian people. Sure. I never found them to be helpful. Like, I look at like I take myself, for example, like I'm happy to help to anybody, not just individuals, like whomever. I'm happy to help you pay it forward. And like the older generation, and I would say this goes for all of the older generation, are not very helpful. They always look at it like it's a competitive nature. They always look like what's their angle. Yeah. They can't just help to help. Whereas I think this younger demographic is very different. So like, was there any real hurdles? I think it was the same hurdle any young person's feeling is that there isn't someone to help you out that would look out for you. Whereas like now I have young people that have helped me, who I can help. And if they're in a position, I'll always put in a good word for them. Why not? What do I got to lose? It doesn't hurt me. And part of the reason why I'm doing all this content, there's all types of people.
Yeah.
There are women in power. There are Indians in power. There's black people. There's white people. There's Jewish people. There's, all types of people that are in power that you just aren't aware of.
Yeah.
And I want to introduce you to them, or I want to show you how everyone has gone through. Because I honestly think when I look at, like, I have friends who have kids who are like 12, 13 years old, and they say they don't really see color. Yeah. They don't see a black guy, white guy, Asian guy. They just see people.
Yeah.
And that's where we're heading anyways. Yeah. It's all going to end up being.
Yeah, I just think that even in each respective industry, there's still, we're going to be the enablers. We're going to be the people that are going to spark the change. But I think there is still a generation above us who can make big decisions and stuff. And so, especially in TV.
Yeah.
TV is very middle class, white. It's not very diverse at all. So.
But here's the thing: the beauty of it now is, I'll go out and say, TV is a dead medium, and there's 1.5 billion people on YouTube. So if you can reach and connect with an audience, you don't need TV.
No, you don't.
And the same thing, it's happened in fashion. Like, if you can connect to the consumer, you don't need a retailer. Like, we used to be in every retail store. We're in 0.
Oh, wow.
We're direct to consumer across 6 brands. And they're all doing extremely well. And that's because those retailers always control their destiny. And one day we were like, fuck this.
Yeah.
We're going to do whatever we want to do. Yeah. Because, look, there's always going to be powers that be, monies that be, that control.
You have to do it yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just take your destiny in your own hands.
And guess what? If you have a successful business, the money will follow you.
I completely agree.
Look at Netflix. Netflix is giving anyone an opportunity. If you do good content, there's a home for you.
100%. I was, I'm looking forward to meeting them on Thursday, actually. But I know, like, for example, I know in my industry, it was 4 years ago, I was in starting at my company.
Wait, so give me a background on your company.
So, talent management first. I was working in music management, and then I got lucky. One of my best friends, he was an music agent at William Morris, and he said, "What do you think about managing this actor?" Now, personally, at the time, I thought the actor was really annoying. I had to unfollow him on Twitter because I was like, is this guy who he is in real life?
Yeah.
Is he his character? But anyways, I met him, and at the time I was working in a call center. So I was earning $7.50 an hour.
Wow, what kind of call center?
Market research.
Okay.
So if you ask me about any canal or river in the UK, I can give you everything. Right? But he just put out a film independently, and it done good numbers at the box office. So he's like, look, he needs a music manager, who's a rapper as well. Would you like to manage him? I was like, there's no harm in it. Yeah. So on the way home from work, I stopped off at the cinema, watched this film. It was called Anotherhood. It was like a UK, urban, a Boys in the Hood mockumentary. I go watch it by myself, come out the cinema at 11:30. 11:30 the next morning, I go to meet him. By 12:30, I was his manager.
Wow.
By 1 o'clock, I was thinking, how do I manage an actor?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
But I just had to learn.
Wow.
Just learning on the job.
That's amazing.
And so Hamza, he's a big ambassador for YouTube. So 3 years ago, there was a big problem with young Muslims getting radicalized and going over to Syria to fight for ISIS, or you had young girls going over to Syria to become jihadi brides. Yeah. And basically, they don't know until they get there that they're essentially going to be sex slaves.
Yeah.
So Hamza's got a huge Muslim audience. So the UK counter-terrorism unit were just banging their heads against the wall. Nothing was happening. They couldn't relay an effective message. So they asked us to, they said, look, we've got this important message that we need to get across. Families are getting destroyed here. People are getting killed. You've got the audience. How can we work together?
Wow, that's amazing.
We suggested, why don't we do a video first? So it's called I'm a Muslim, Not a Terrorist. And then we decided to Hamza to do some workshops in at-risk areas. So some schools in dangerous areas where there's a problem going on. So we did 3 schools, and I invited the BBC to come down and check it out, and they gave a really positive review. So I thought, okay, there could be something here. So I reached out to NBC News in the States, and they liked the idea. So they said, look, they sent a film crew down. So I was thinking, I've got BBC covering it, I've got NBC News covering it, and then while there was PR interest, at the same time, Hamza, there was 3 girls that went from East London to Syria, and it created global media news. Hamza knew the family of one of the girls.
Wow.
And so it was a normal family that had just been destroyed. They were never going to see their daughter again. And it really brought it to home. So we just cleared out our diary. We said to the police, look, let's do more of these workshops. So we did 3 schools turned into 5 schools, 5 schools turned into 10. We ended up doing 130 schools inside a year.
Wow.
And it was so surreal. The Rock saw what we'd done.
Wow.
So he said, look guys, come in. We met The Rock. He gave us a big shout out. He said,
That's
guys,
amazing.
respect for what you guys are doing. He had San Andreas coming out, and we got the page in the New York Times that he wanted. So he said, you motherfuckers got my back. I'll happily get called the motherfucker.
But The Rock, yeah, he's the man.
Yeah. But then all this coverage and this positivity that we just put out there, it resulted in 2 things. Number one, the number of young Muslims and young girls going to Syria dropped completely.
Wow.
Especially with young girls. Within a year there was no more cases.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
And Google spotted it, and they said, look, it inspired them to do a new drive called Creators for Change. So Creators for Change is a campaign they're doing for influencers who have, YouTubers that have a lot of influence. And they said, look, we'd like Hamza to be the main person to start off, our first ambassador to launch this global campaign we're doing. And it's been so surreal, man. It's educating internal staff within Google about just them getting energized about their social importance.
Yeah.
You know, how they can also help create.
Such good timing considering what's happening, especially in the States with the election.
States is our biggest market, man.
Yeah.
And I always respect when I see another Indian doing great things, I can't help but be proud or inspired. Do you know what I mean? So I thought, you know what, let me reach out. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah. And it's funny is that's actually how I connected with Jay Sean. I'm a music junkie, and I'm listening to a song one day, and my friend is here in the office, and he's like, oh, Jay Sean, Indian dude. I'm like, he's Indian? I'm like, do you know him? And he's like, my friend kind of knows him, or maybe works with him, manages him, I don't know. And I was like, okay, connect me with him. I want to meet him. I meet Jay, all laughs, all fun. We became such good friends. His wife, Tara, my wife, we all became like family.
Yeah.
And, you know, I really reached out to him on just the premise. I'm like, wow, there's this Indian kid who could be a pop star who signed to Cash Money, which my friends were working there anyways. So I was like, I got to be friends with this guy. Yeah. And that's how we all kind of connected. And I was like, if I could help in any way, I'm down to help. I don't want anything. He's always supported our brands, and whatever we need from him, he'll always look out for us. And that's the community we've built now.